The morning the so-called officer showed up at my ranch, I instantly knew something was off. Two men in cheap uniforms, no badges shining, no real authority in their stance. Yet they barked orders as if I had committed some crime, accusing me of violating HOA rules, even though I never signed up for their Lake HOA in the first place. I watched with disbelief as they waved papers in my face, trying to scare me into paying fees to an organization that had no legal control over my property. And my heart burned with anger as neighbors peeked through blinds, whispering, wondering if I was in trouble. But I refused to bow down. I refused to let fraud rule me. So I calmly asked them which department they worked for. Silence fell, sweat beaded their foreheads, and their story cracked under the weight of truth. I laughed bitterly, because how could people be so desperate for power that they'd send imposters to my home just to force me into their scheme? In that moment, I looked across the street at their shiny HOA office, a smug monument of control, and a thought struck me like lightning. What if the very land beneath that building wasn't even theirs? That night, I dug through deeds, maps, and old surveys left by my grandfather, and to my shock, I discovered that not only did I own the stretch of lake they were fighting over, but the HOA office itself had been illegally built on my property decades ago. My rage turned into a firestorm of determination, because now I held the ultimate card, and when I walked into their next board meeting with my lawyer, the room turned pale as I laid the documents on the table and declared, "This office you're sitting in belongs to me." They tried to argue, they tried to threaten, but the truth crushed every word they threw my way, and the same neighbors who had once doubted me now clapped, cheering as the so-called leaders of the HOA scrambled to hide their shame. In the end, those fake cops disappeared, the fees vanished, and I took back not just my dignity, but the very ground beneath their arrogance, proving once and for all that you can't steal power from someone who knows the worth of their land.